7. My breath caught. 5 years? My voice was barely a whisper. Ian nodded, studying me. I stuck my dagger back into my pocket and lifted my left sleeve, revealing my very own grayed-out Deathday. His eyes widened. So I'm not the only one. My heart hammered in my chest. What happened to you? Come on, let's walk. Ian cast a glance over his shoulder. We need to put as much distance between us and the city as we can. I know a clearing. Ian scooped up his gun and began trekking further south. I hesitated for a moment, then called out to him. Hey, Ian? Yeah? I'm M. Ian's warm smile diffused any lingering doubts I had about sharing my story with him. He'd survived past his Deathday too. If I couldn't trust him, I couldn't trust anyone. And right now, I really needed a friend. I glanced behind me at the concrete field and the city on the horizon, and then followed Ian through the thick underbrush, my footsteps crunching on dead leaves intermingled with dirty snow. Ian told me how he'd survived past his Deathday at only 11 years old. He'd been forced to leave his home until one cold winter night, a man approached him. He knew Ian's name and told him to go past the edge. Ever since, Ian had been trying to figure out what Deathdays were, and how he was the only human known to have survived past his. Now there's 2 of us, I said. We approached the clearing and sat on a fallen tree. Could this clearing be my new home? If I'd stolen that taupe cloth from the market, I could have made a makeshift shelter right here. I blew on my hands to keep them warm, while Ian seemed unbothered by the frost. And there's something else, Ian said, kicking at the frozen ground with his worn boots. What is it? My best friend Theo found something out about Deathdays. I spun around. You know something? Not exactly. He got a lead. I remained silent, hoping Ian would go on. He found something inside the White Tower. My jaw dropped. Inside the White Tower? Yeah. But how did he? I was there too. I shook my head. Unbelievable. It's true. I'll tell you the full story another day. For now, all you need to know is that he overheard some senior GA officials talking about a chip. I narrowed my eyes. A chip? What does that have to do with Deathdays? That's the thing. We need to get our hands on it to find out for sure. My mind reeled. Hang on. So you think the chip contains information that could help us figure out Deathdays? Precisely. Images of the fight with the patrol from the alley flashed in my mind. I faced Ian. Someone tried to kill me yesterday. A patrol, after he saw my grayed-out Deathday. He saw it? Ian's voice was no louder than a whisper. I nodded, my eyes trained on my boots. Bits of old snow had stuck to the heels. I looked up and locked eyes with Ian. I don't get it, though. Why would he try to kill me right then and there? Why not ask me about my Deathday? Shouldn't the GA be interested in people like us? The Deathday Research Fund, it's not that they're not interested. They are. Just for the wrong reasons. Can't you see? I shook my head. That patrol probably had orders to kill you on the spot after he saw your Deathday. No questions asked. You and I were a threat. I don't understand. Ian sighed, playing with a twig and weighing his words. We've been taught that all species have the Deathday biomarker. But only humans have genetically evolved to show Deathdays. The theory is that knowing our Deathday would better prepare us for life. Survival of the fittest and all that. Ian paused, resting his chin on his hands. But nature is never wrong. Nature will take you when it's your time. No sooner, no later. My eyes widened. But we survived. That means that there's a flaw somewhere. That's right. The government's control on power is absolute. We see that every day, in the curfews, in the food rations, the scheduled blackouts. If there's a flaw, there's a threat to their power. I bit my lower lip. I'm the threat. That's why he tried to kill me. Ian placed a cold hand on mine and squeezed. We both are. An icy wave seared through my body. We're not safe. I gestured around the clearing. Not here, not anywhere. Past the edge is the safest place we could be. That's what Mom said. Your mom told you to come here? I nodded. And your dad? I shook my head, my throat constricting. Right. Ian squeezed my hand again, and I squeezed back. After several moments, I cleared my throat and pulled my comp out of my pocket. Let's see if I can figure something out about this chip. The White Tower, you say? I'll try to get in their internal network. I glanced at Ian. Where's your comp anyway? Had to get rid of it. I'm not an all-star hacker, you know. Ian grinned. I learned it all from Dad. I cracked my knuckles and rubbed my hands together to warm them up. I started typing, removing all traces of my presence as I went. My battery indicator flashed red in the corner, but I pushed it out of my mind. I'd worry about finding a power source later. Ian paced around the clearing, his hands behind his back. Will this work? I've never tried hacking into the White Tower's internal network, but maybe? I hesitated, then typed several lines of code into the command terminal. I disconnected my comp from the main network yesterday. But to get into the White Tower's servers, I'd have to reconnect, just for a moment. Long enough to secure the connection between my comp and the government's intranet. I'm going to try to gain access in what I like to call stealth mode. Ian smirked. Stealth mode, I like the sound of that. Let's give it a go. Holding my breath, I hit enter. My comp beeped, and a series of red warnings flashed across my screen. My face drained of color, and I cursed under my breath. They broke through my encryption. Ian blinked. In English? The second I got back online, my comp sent a tracking signal to the city. Like a beacon. They're tracking us. And they will find us.